Recently, I put out a video explaining how AI helped me wrap my Lamborghini Urus. I got a ton of comments saying that I copied somebody's STO. Now this guy is a huge car YouTuber, 2.5 million subs, 5,000 videos and 1 billion views. On Instagram he's even followed by Drake, but doesn't follow him back. So it was only right that I pulled up to his garage and we settle this once and for all.
Are you copying me or something?
That's right guys, Tim Burton, best known for his opening line.
Hi guys, I'm Shmee.
Invited me to the Shmuseum to see his incredible £7 million garage, his insane watch collection, and clear up something from the past.
We put this to bed once and for all right here on the Yiannimize YouTube channel.
Oh, goodness me. Where on earth do you begin with that?
So I'm in the Shmuseum alongside Tim Burton, Shmee 150. Tim, thank you for allowing me to come here, sit down, get up close and personal, and have a look at this incredible space.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
It's an incredible setup, and I'm in awe, is the honest truth. I've seen your videos in the past, and I've seen this where you filmed it, but when you're actually here, I don't think it does it justice on the videos.
I think it probably feels a lot bigger than the camera makes it look. There's obviously a lot of cars, a lot of colour, there's a lot going on. I can almost overload.
Are we starting with the Zenvo?
Zenvo, GT, Black Series, STO, and a very familiar colour scheme. It actually used to be an even closer colour scheme, but we'll talk about that one later.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about the colours and stuff like that I copied Tim and this, that, and the other. To be fair, let's be honest, look.
I've got one of everything. You can't have a colour. I'm a person who's always liked colour, right? Yeah. And I think with paints these days, with wraps, you can let your imagination run wild. You can do literally whatever you want. Because we've seen so much and with social media, you can't really come up with anything that's brand new anymore. Exactly. What you can do is put your own twist on it, your own car, your own, just different ways, different styles, different approaches. But that's what makes it cool, right?
People know you for running around Knightsbridge because that
but that's what
became a thing afterwards.
But I used to cycle around.
Okay.
I used to hop on my pedal bike and bomb around, Mayfair, Knightsbridge, whatever, and try and find nice cars.
I remember a video which caused a load of controversy, was that Lambo one.
Yeah, I know.
The Lambo that crashed. And how many years ago was that now?
April 14.
You didn't even shoot the video, did you?
No, it's a strange story. So it was Mother's Day, so I was out of town, and ironically, it happened a couple of 100 meters from where I lived, and I knew I couldn't get there, but I asked anybody who was there if they could film a video for me. So one guy that I was talking to kindly shot me a little video, sent it, I uploaded it. I put in the comments of my video, I've heard that somebody filmed it. If that's you, could you reach out?
Yeah.
And the guy reached out to me. I gave him something up front and then a commission on what it earned. But at the time, I was very much trying to be a publisher.
Yeah.
So I was also paying other car spotters to go and shoot me content. So they would shoot me content, I would pay them some money for the videos, and I would upload the videos.
You're like a pimp. Like the car pimp,
spot pimp.
Shmee car pimp of the world.
Let's not start that. So at the time, that was a more normal thing. 9 years ago, we had no idea that YouTube would become what it is now, which is much more personality-based, storyline-based, bringing your viewers along with your channel. Nobody expected that video to go as crazy as it did. But those 35 million views are worth way less than 1 million views on something much more positive and interesting. Because advertisers don't want to be associated with a crash, with controversy, with negative, frustrated audience, right? There's been a lot of times where I've thought, I just wish that never happened and I never did it. But the truth of the matter is, even though it hasn't earned significant money, the fact that that video exists was so big for bringing an audience to my channel at that time. So while I've learned from that, there's no point in deleting something that's already there because someone else just uploads it and it's still out there anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that video has been ripped off countless billions of times now.
What I'm glad is that you actually have a Lambo. Because you're not really, listen, I'm Lambo fanboy and everyone knows me Lambo. You are originally OG Aston.
And had a bunch of McLarens.
Heavy McLaren.
Yeah.
That's like the original OG car.
That's the OG car. That was, do you know what, the first time I ever made a video for my channel, talking to camera, was at the steering wheel of that car.
Hi, I'm Tim, or Shmee150 as you know me on YouTube. Today we're driving around London in my Aston Martin V8 Vantage Roadster.
It was actually the first time we ever communicated as well.
Okay.
Because when I had that car was when I sent an email to you guys to talk about wrapping it. I wanted to wrap it light green.
And was it 2000 and...
2010, early 2010, maybe, well, late 2010 it must have been, sorry. But back then, never did it at the time. But I bought the car back. I actually sold it in 2012, bought it back 9 years later with not too many more miles, only had 2 owners since. and I'll never sell it again.
You got the Plate 87 TV, year of birth, initials.
Yeah, and symmetrical. If you're into like maths, numbers, whatever, symmetry, like the 8 looks like the B and the 7 looks like the T.
Every plate here is a Shmee plate, bar I think the BMW which you only just bought.
I mean, I've got like 60 of these plates, right? And it's got to the point that there are some I don't own and people want stupid amounts of money for them, and it's never, no thank you. So I got to the point of like, let's start doing something a little bit different. Let's just mix it up a bit.
Shmee 150. Where did that name come from?
Everybody wants to know what Shmee 150 comes from. And at the beginning, I actually wished I had set a name that meant something to do with cars.
Yeah.
Now it's cool because it's unique and it doesn't, like, what is it? The Shmee part was literally just my nickname for online gaming when I was a kid. So it was what I typed in. I don't know where it really began or why, but it's what I was using, and it's not even really spelt right. The natural spelling would have a C in it. It'd be like SCHMEE, but whatever. I spelt it wrong and it stuck. The 150 came because when I signed up to a website once, Shmee was already taken. And it was like, do you want Shmee 98765 or Shmee 0000 or Shmee 150? And it was the shortest. So I was just like, click, done. And I picked it because it was the shortest. And then obviously from that point on, Shmee 150 is not taken anywhere, so it became my username.
So your name is Tim Burton.
Yep.
You've heard this a million times, but I want to clear it up once and for all for
Are we
the
going
viewers.
biscuits, snowboards, or clothes?
We're going clothes.
We have loads of businesses. Burton Snowboards, no?
No, I don't know that one. Okay.
Burton's Biscuits.
So I'm gonna line this up for people at home, yeah? So people that don't know. So his name's Tim Burton, and there's a famous clothing brand called Burton's Menswear. Now, everyone that knows Tim, because of the cars he has and the way he carries them, everyone's like, his granddad was Burton's, and that is why he has so much money, and that is why he's successful, blah, blah, blah. Can we put this to bed once and for all right here on the Yiannimize YouTube channel?
Funny story. My dad hates all of this. He's like, there's no way you should be buying all of these cars. He's constantly like, do you need another one? No, my dad worked, he was in the finance department of a big retailer in the UK, but an electronics retailer.
Not Burton Finance.
No, but I get so many different things.
So is it all rubbish?
Like, how can it be? If I, like, well, we know that Philip Green owns the Burton Group, or the, what did it become called? I can't even remember.
I can't remember, but yeah.
I think it's a very British thing. People want to find an answer if they can't figure one. So this doesn't make sense to somebody who doesn't understand the social media world. You know, my channel's done 1 billion views, like 1 billion. Like, to put that into perspective, 1 billion views, you can Google what ad rates YouTube pays you, so you can work it out. That pays for.
You can do the maths.
The maths. The maths
don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard.
Because of being well-spoken, and you know, I make no secret I had a good upbringing. I went to a good school. I was lucky that I was able to go on family holidays every year and whatnot because of my dad's career. It's very different to understand that you can be from something in the middle that isn't coming from nothing or coming from a billionaire background.
Yeah.
Like, there's a massive gulf in the middle. So I came from a good background. I've never once tried to pretend otherwise. But like, the full business of all of this is off the back of the fact that I ran around like an idiot when I was a bit younger with a camera in central London. My dad has never owned a business.
Right. So
I don't think he's ever owned any business.
Right. So we've cleared that up. So Burton's Menswear has nothing to do with Tim Burton.
And nor are the biscuits or the snow.
And all the biscuits or the snowball. I don't even know about that. I'm not even getting into that. We forget that one. This is so not Shmee.
This is not me at all. This is not me at all. Every car in here is a nice, bright, vibrant factory paint color, like super smart, super.
You are very OEM.
This is an artist called Louette, who is a pop artist, as you can tell from the pop icons. And they approached me with the gallery he works with, Wycliffe Galleries, to put together basically a piece called Hyper Pop. So they made the original artworks, which have then been scanned, obviously printed, and the car's been wrapped to match. But the original artworks are going to be auctioned later in the year, with 50% of the proceeds going to Calm, a mental health charity, which is a really fun thing to be able to support, especially in the social media world. And for me, as somebody who loves icons, color, I mean, we're in a room filled with Lego cars, arcade machines, Swatch watches, bright and vibrant cars. When they proposed this idea, I was like, do you know what? Why not?
It had to be this car.
It didn't have to be this car. I suggested this car because if you're going to fill a car with icons, you know, Speed Racer, Mario Kart, Superman, Iron Man. Dumbo, exactly. The donut from The Simpsons.
Oh my God.
You might as well go with an icon, right? And the Ford GT is such an iconic car to begin with. The whole reason for this thing's existence is the history, the story, everything around it. So I was like, let's do it with this. Underneath the car is red and gold, so they put a big Iron Man on the roof as a tribute.
Yeah.
It's been the most amazing talking point. I guarantee if we ask people for their opinion, it will polarize everyone. Love it, hate it.
But it's a great car anyway, isn't it? And you had this in America, I remember.
This car's been, this car did a full tour around the US. I can't believe I've had it for nearly 5 years.
What does it cost, with all the paperwork, whatever car it may be, to send the car to America?
It varies because of shipping schedules. That's the biggest variable on it. Roughly speaking, to send a car over in a container, so yes, it might take a month, with insurance for a supercar, because insurance is actually quite an expensive part of it, and all of the customs clearance documents and everything you would need, you're going to be in roughly, I want to say, 10,000. I'm not going to say it's cheap, because it's obviously not. If you did it with a less expensive car, it might be 7,000.
Yeah, because of insurance.
But if you're going to be in another country, like I was in the US for 4 months with that car, tell me how much you can rent a supercar for 4 months to drive 14,000 miles.
And literally, you can just leave it out there as long as you want.
So officially speaking, it travels with you. So when you leave the country, the car leaves the country, etc. So you have to, it can't be there for more than 12 months. You can't be a resident of the US if you take the car there. So it's quite a complicated.
Otherwise you have tax issues and things like that.
So that car's been to Dubai and Abu Dhabi as well.
Yeah.
You have to get a carnet de passage. So you have to put down, like in this, I think it was a 40-something thousand pound deposit, like a bond. You get it back when the car comes home, but you have to pay it.
So in other words, if you left it out there, they're taking the tax off you theoretically. Okay, so to send it to Dubai?
I sent it to Dubai at the worst possible time. It was back in 2021 when shipping prices were insane.
Ballpark.
We flew it.
Talk to me. How much to put it on a plane?
I want to say it was about 25 grand to Dubai.
Wow, one way.
Yeah, it came back on a boat.
Wow.
We're flying this to the US in 2 weeks. So this is about to go to America in a plane. Oh dear.
How much?
20.
20 grand.
Yeah.
You bring it back on a boat?
They'll probably come back on a plane. It's
That YouTube money!
No. It's also a bit of a time thing. Like, I don't mind the AMG sitting on a boat for 6 weeks because what's going to happen? It's a Mercedes.
Yeah.
This I feel a lot more protective about. You know, it's 5 times the value, right?
What's this worth?
Ooh, 1 point highs, 1.5 plus.
This is a hypercar?
I mean, for sure. If you put E85 in it, it's 1,360 horsepower.
Right, so hypercar.
Top end of supercar,
Top end supercar.
Supercars. I do technically still own my Senna. It's advertised for sale.
Okay.
Is the Senna a hypercar? Is it a very high-end supercar? Is it a baby hypercar? It sits on the fence for me.
So, funny enough, I had a conversation with Rue when I
Inspect my Revuelto. Is that a hypercar or is that a high-end supercar?
It's now a supercar because these benchmarks change, right?
What makes a hypercar? What makes a supercar?
It is definitely, I mean, there's obviously no categoric definition, but it's definitely a combination of factors: price, exclusivity, performance,
Okay, so hold on. So
brand.
What does it have to be over to be classed as a hypercar?
I mean, we live in a world now where if you want to spend over £1 million on a car, you've got 40 different choices.
Yeah, we're
Like,
back
that's
in the
become
day.
normal. In the current market, a hypercar has to be £1 million plus.
Okay, so right, so there's the price, like £1 million.
Let's say performance.
Okay.
I think 1,000 horsepower plus for sure.
Okay,
I say that, but some exceptions. Gordon Murray T50 is only 650 odd.
right.
Pagani Utopia is only 850 odd, but those are hypercars, aren't they?
Like
Yeah.
that.
Facts, let's go. Facts and figures with Shmee 150, my new video series. Exclusivity.
Okay, so numbered car.
You know, I think that harms Revuelto in this conversation because I think even 500 is arguably pushing the boat.
So a Sion is a hypercar.
For sure. Sion's
Okay,
a hypercar. A Chiron is indisputably a hypercar. There are 500 of those.
The new Countach?
New Countach is a hypercar.
Fine, okay. I just named Lambo. I'm just Lambo.
I give the Countach hypercar status, even though it only has 800 and something horsepower, and even though it's not as extremely engineered, but it's still the exclusivity, right? There's no single rule of thumb in my eyes. So this is the Senna, undoubtedly for performance is fast enough. Numbers, 500 cars, potentially could be. Price point, in the UK they're under $1 million, but in other countries they're over. There's clearly no definition. The thing I love though about Koenigsegg is that they've created a definition. They introduced the mega car.
Yeah.
The mega car is 1,360 horsepower. Technically that's a mega car because that's 1 megawatt of power. Like it's an indisputable
Super hyper mega.
Yes. And a brand, without going into too many details, has a category they're about to try and introduce.
So the Revuelto's not a hypercar, so I'm still supercar
sorry.
status.
But this is the thing. You look at performance and technology and how quickly it's changing, right?
Crazy.
1,000 horsepower a few years ago was reserved for a Bugatti Veyron and nothing else. Now, a Revuelto, an SF90. Like the list of cars that can do this is going to get big in the coming years of cars that make 1,000 horsepower. And all of a sudden we're going to be like, that's normal.
What would a 10-year-old Tim say if he saw what you're doing now?
How is that possible? How do I do that? When I was mid-teens, I was like, one day I'm going to drive a Lamborghini on Gumball 3000. That was like 17-year-old Tim was like, that's going to happen one day. Arguably, I did that for one of the days of this year's rally. I've done a few rallies and trips with the different cars. I, like many people who actually message me now, felt that there was more importance on having to decide at a young age what you're going to do in life than I think there really is. You know, certainly when I was at school, I remember everything was to set you up. You have to choose your courses for AS and A levels to then dictate what degree you're going to do at university, which then dictates what your whole career is going to look like. And you know, my career alone has gone from basically, what have I done? I've run a shop, traded online, been a ski instructor, dropped out of uni, worked in a serious professional job. Now I make videos on YouTube. You can't have more different careers. So you know, the biggest thing that I would want to say back to the 10-year-old Tim is to try and inspire to work hard and just follow a passion. You know, find something you really enjoy. A lot of people want to know what's the magic trick to having a supercar. You know, and I certainly did, like I said. But the reality is there isn't like one magic trick. It's not like, here's the one sentence I can give you, which means you're suddenly going to have a Lamborghini. Like, it doesn't work like that. It's really about trying to be a leader in your topic, you know, trying to be the best at what you do.
What legacy would you like to leave behind?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. To have inspired a lot of people. I think to have brought a lot of people perhaps a bit out of their comfort zone to trying something, to trying to both be successful themselves, but also to forward that on as well. Myself and my team, you know, my business manager, Mark, has been a real, I want to say pioneer. Yeah, Schmark 150. He's been really a pioneer of opening car brands up to social media, because when we were asking if we could film stuff, no one had ever asked before. So it's super cool to have been at the forefront of that industry shift. You know, there's going to be another one, and social media will be forgotten at some point, and people will be like, what's YouTube? What's Facebook? You know, down the line, that will probably be a thing. But certainly for now, just trying new things, just having been known for enjoying it and working hard at it.
So obviously we've seen all downstairs now. Tim's going to take us upstairs to see the offices?
Well, it's kind of the grandstand. We literally call it the grandstand, industrial kind of staircase like you have at a race circuit.
Yeah.
And then we've got our VIP hospitality boxes, which are offices with a view over the racetrack. You know, this is one of the coolest things from up here.
So we've got office there.
Media office, my main office, and the view of the cars. You know.
What a view.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then if you go further beyond, the last room.
Well, I'm just going to grab something on my way round. One sec, I'm just going to grab something on my way round. How are you? Yanni? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Just grab one of these.
You're grabbing a Shmee the cat?
I'm grabbing a Shmoo as we walk around. Talk to me about this place, yeah?
This is my like collectibles room that is currently my Swatch display with most of them. I've got more. I love Swatch watches. Colourful, cheerful, fun. And then if you're quiet, you just hear like the tick, 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 tick in the background. It's either therapeutic or horrible, I'm not quite sure.
So have you collected Swatch watches from all across the world?
So the fun thing is all of these ones, you can only get them from each respective city, from the shops.
Can I take one?
Yeah. So that's Bern in Switzerland, for example. We've got London, Venice, Munich, Brussels, Ireland, Istanbul, Las Vegas. So I started collecting them in each of the cities. Like, you know, some people collect all sorts of different things from gift shops. I like the idea of collecting the watch that you could get from that location. And then it became a little bit more of an obsession. And then
how much are these watches? Because I know they're Swatch. I know they're not
these
massively
are
expensive.
50 to 100.
Is that what they are?
But like some of them become
Do you
collectible.
have one that's crazy expensive, like for a Swatch?
Not. These are the craziest ones, the Moon Swatches.
What are those? How much are those?
They were 250, but like that's the one with the gold second hand, which is, I don't even know what they're worth. But then this is actually the rarest one that you can't really get. Like, it's a plastic watch that they sell for 250. I honestly don't have a clue what it's worth, but I'm going to guess 1,000 or something.
Okay, so it's not big money, but it's. But to be fair, when you call these watches, there's a lot of money in this room. To be fair,
I just love them. They're fun. They're cheerful. You know, I wear my.
What is? And listen, everyone knows I love a watch. From a
Venti.
distance, people that don't know, it looks like it could be passed as Richard Mille. It could pass as a few different
A lot of
things.
people think it's an RM.
It's a Venti.
A Venti, fairly new brand, punching very aggressively with their own technologies. Tourbillon movement by guys who are ex-AP.
Okay,
Really cool.
Great colour.
Sapphire case, love the colour, love the look of it. Like, it's really nice, and it's not quite as RM price level.
Yeah, it's not RM price level. It's not RM price level, but it's not Swatch level either.
No.
We'll put it in the middle.
Somewhere in between.
Right, so that is the end of this video with Tim Burton, Shmee 150. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I've known you for many years, and just getting to sit in your incredible setup, and you're a real gentleman, and you are a machine of the car world and the YouTube world, and we appreciate you, we respect you, and Tim, thank you so much, man. Message to the world.
Message to the world? Oh, goodness me. My main message would be always try and do the right thing, work hard, look after others, inspire, do something that's passionate for you. You know, that kind of line.
Okay, that's good.
I don't really know how to...
No, that's fine. Listen, the last person I asked that, he said, get rich or die trying. I didn't think you was going to say that.
No, that's a little bit too punchy. That's a bit punchy. Work at something you love and you'll never work a day in your life.